Brian, can you give us an update?
I can. The project has been going and negotiating around the weather
Again tomorrow.
with the last couple weeks.
What weather?
And
It's spring.
that's right, spring today.
12:15.
Spring today, Easter tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean nor'easter tomorrow.
Yeah, no worries.
And apparently on Monday.
But there'll be more snow tomorrow. So they have been working around the weather delays. But the progress is showing itself on the exterior of the building and the interior framing. The mason is continuing on the interior prisoner processing and cell areas right now. They're finishing up the exterior 8-foot-high exterior partition walls. They're almost done on the exterior, which means the panels on the left side and front can continue. Panels, as they're being installed, the short end of the building could take a day, where the long end of the building could take a couple days. But once they start, that's all they're looking for as far as duration to get those closed in. Once those are closed in, then more rough-in can happen on the inside. And you'll see more trades showing up to the building, more laborers to complete the interior of the building. So it's important that the milestone is to get the building enclosed. The part of getting the building enclosed, though, is putting a new roof on it. And we did have one session that we went with, I went with the town for mediation, trying to resolve the roof panels. By the time I left the meeting, there was no resolution on that. So I don't know if there's been anything more to report on that, but it's still an unresolved situation. And it's an unresolved situation that is going to impact the project until there is a resolution on it. So there's a couple things that I just need to let the building committee make you aware of, and make you aware that they're impacting the project. They're going to impact the project financially, and they potentially could impact the project with schedule. One is the roof panel installation. And the second is temporary heat, because the contractor has put the town on notice that there's additional costs for temporary heat, and they've been supplying temporary heat. There has been I don't know of any costs that are associated with that, other than BC Construction will be submitting costs for temporary heat. And the third is what I've just come to find out just recently when I looked at the last requisition, was general conditions. The general conditions is the general contractor's staffing of the project and being on site. There have been delays to the schedule because they've been doing some site work, and they've had other instances where they're going to claim delay to the schedule. They had originally a scheduled value of $513,000 in change for general conditions over a 12-month period. If this requisition's approved, they're going to be billing for 75% of that general conditions. And in email conversations back and forth with the contractor, they'll be charging additional general conditions after 12 months. I need to make you aware of that that's the intent. So we have a requisition right now which is being invoiced for 75% of general conditions, when the total project is only 40% invoiced. So we're a little upside down on that. But I just need to make you aware that those are three items that are impacting the town and the contract.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Any questions?
A couple. let me just go to the general conditions. You say the project's 40% complete, but that's, I assume it's 40% complete as it relates to all of the delays that we've had to this point in time, and therefore should be more expeditious, if you will, for the second part of this project, which
Oh,
we're
I think-
primarily inside now.
Right.
So it's not a pure 60-40 relationship in terms of cost.
I would
So,
agree with that.
so what estimates do you have for those general conditions?
I don't,
got-
I don't.
Well, when do you think the project's going to be finished?
The last schedule that I got from the contractor, they were saying October. Now, I've also asked the contractor, and Mike's here, that he's trying to improve that schedule. So the schedule was out to September. They just revised one and resubmitted one, which shows October. So I questioned at the job trailer at the last job meeting, what do you feel is, and he's trying to better that schedule. So September, October.
Is it as simplistic to say that if you've got a $500,000 budget, we anticipated a 12-month work schedule? Is it as simple to say that you divide 12 into 500,000 and that's how much it is per month? Is it that basic?
I would have to have,
Logic would tell me it is.
I would have to have the contractor answer that, but general
did.
He's
conditions,
nodding yes, he just did. All right, so, and the project was due to be finished, when was the 12 months up? July, August?
June 1st.
June?
July 1st or August 1st?
June. July 1st.
July
June
1st.
30th, right? Yeah.
So you're looking at, I mean, then this isn't brain surgeon work to figure out how much more this is gonna cost. So it's July, August, September, 3 months, roughly, we hope, possibly 4. So that's $150,000, or $120,000, give or take.
Well, this period is $42,800
So
for this period.
I rounded it to 40, so, quick in my head. So 3 times that, I think it's 120. So we've got a potential exposure of $120,000 because of that. What's the heat gonna cost?
I don't have any figures on that.
Mike, do you have any number?
We have all the receipts for it. It's mostly what the cost is the diesel fuel, the windows heaters, and that temporary topping that you see. By the time you're at your next meeting, I should be able to give you those numbers.
It'll be less than 120,000.
That's encouraging.
I'm always looking for the good stuff.
That schedule, I don't know if you want me to elaborate a little bit on that
Oh,
schedule.
on the schedule?
Sure,
I'd like me to elaborate just a little bit.
sure. Go ahead, Mike.
So, based on, as the
Does he need the
schedule
mic?
is, yeah, we're probably into October. In my weekly report to the architect, the OPM, and to some of the town figures, if I'm able to do what I'm looking to do over the next 45 days, I might be able to pull that schedule back some. That's our intent going forward, provided that the weather cooperates. I mean, we've been hit pretty hard over the last 30 days. We're going into our 4th storm that basically hits us for a couple days a week. And the cold weather doesn't help us either. But once we get the subcontractors in there, we should be able to pull back some time on the schedule. So that's our goal. I stated that in my last weekly report to the town and to the architect. I have a series of events that I hope to be doing simultaneously. And it's a tall order, but that'll help us to pull that schedule back and get us closer to where we want to be.
Does the rec pay a portion of this?
Yeah, the rec would pay part of the general conditions.
I think the MEC has their own general conditions within their 195. Yeah, general conditions is also within the MEC total.
So that doesn't include the 513.
Correct. The general conditions on the MEC is 146,000.
So the 75 reflects the entire building, so it's proportionate to the rec as well then? It's not? None of the rec is in that 75%?
No, the MEC is getting a separate requisition.
And so how far along are they in their component?
3%.
33% on general conditions. The reason that they're at 33% is because they haven't done anything on the second floor until just recently. They've been working all shell and first floor. And preparing the slab, that's all part of your scope, Town of Norfolk scope.
So we're back to the 120.
And you need to make it clear, our priority is the police station, not so much the MEC. Even though we have the ability to frame that area, our focus is on the police station.
Yes.
Thank you. I was over to the site today and visited with folks, and do you still feel that we're going to have a fairly reasonable opportunity to get a total cost on this by the end of April or early May?
I personally, from my
I mean, I'm sure there's always a certain incremental percent that would, but
I'm looking at it this way, is that all the players will be involved
right.
within.
All your subcontractors will be in the game by then.
So I'm gonna have a pretty good handle on everything that's being installed in the building. That's why I gave you that date of the end of April.
Okay, good, thank you.
Okay, Brian.
So I would see I would anticipate that the workforce would be increasing, in the next 4 weeks, definitely. You're going to see more trade and more materials showing up on the site. I did hand out my monthly summary. The only thing that I have to report for change order that pertains to the police department is $1,500, $1,535.91, which was approved for them to proceed, and we revised some split face block with ground face block. And this was so we could get a better transition between the wall panel and the top of masonry wall. There was a concern from the installers that split face block would not give a clean transition between the wall panel and the block. So we went from split face on the top course to ground face on the top course to provide a smoother transition between the two products. So that was the reason we did it. It was a material cost to furnish, manufacture and furnish the ground face. There wasn't any cost for installing because they were installing masonry. Whether it's split face or ground face, they're still installing. So we had given an approval on that based on the price and based on the review with Matt. The pending change requests that you see, we're still waiting on what final resolution we're going to have on the overhead doors. There's a couple concepts that are still in play, so we're still waiting on pricing, but that's not really a critical item to the schedule. We have some time on that. The number that you see there, the 5,600 plus overhead and profit, that was just for one solution. There are other options that we're looking at, so we don't have anything to state there. And then pending, I talk about the temporary heat, the general conditions. And there's a door swing and hardware revision at electrical room that we're looking to possibly add another egress door out of the electrical room. And it was brought up by the electrical inspector appropriately that we need a second egress door out of the electrical room. There's nothing pending on the MEC side. That's just there for informational purposes. What I attached was just for information. It's just going back to what the bid results were at the time of bidding. And you might find this helpful if there was any discussions during the mediation process of the roof panels that came up. It did come back to the fact that BC Construction was low by that amount, below the number 2 bidder. And all the other bidders were in the $6 million range when BC Construction was at 5.5. So the mediation was interesting, but I think we still have to resolve some things there.
When would you expect a resolution?
And I think Dave DeLucas, town council, he said, I think he was gonna try and reach out to Dave, Mike's council today. You know, I think we're kind of between a rock and a hard place, so it's, I think between now and early next week, we'll have we'll come to a solution.
So, let me understand this mediation process. Does the mediator make the final decision if we can't come to an agreement?
Good, yep. They try to come to a solution.
Right, before the mediator has to make a ruling.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're working on,
Working on it. He drove down to Quincy in a snowstorm. Drove back from Quincy in a snowstorm, I should say. You must have had a fun ride.
It was ugly. It was completely ugly.
Oh, come on, I never saw a storm I didn't like. Come on.
Unless your wife is sitting in the passenger seat.
I'm behind the wheel.
I knew-
Much more fun. I'm looking for
I do have a monthly requisition.
general numbers.
okay,
It's $236,682.05.
and you need a motion to approve that?
Yeah, I think it's typical.
What is that for, Brian?
Yeah.
This is for the period to 2/28, so it's the end of February. So this is a February requisition from BC Construction.
That's payment application number 9.
You just read the number again, sorry.
236-68205.
I'd make a motion to approve requisition number 9, amount of 236,682.05. Is that a second?
Thank you, Cole.
Hold on a second.
So says the man from Connecticut.
All right.
Oh, is he registered in Massachusetts?
No, he's not.
And I have that shown in the budget too, so it's reflected in the price so far, so.
So, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Unanimous.
A couple more questions.
Yes.
Just full of them today.
All right, we
Never
like
let me
that.
Should never let me walk the site. Are we done with septic issues?
Are we done with septic issues? The septic issue is still a DEP application that needs to be submitted. There was paperwork that was sent but was lost.
Lost?
I think it was a zip code error that they never got it. So Matt's resent some documents to the engineers. The concept here is we're going to submit the application without the permit in place, and without the approval in place, and see if DEP will accept that. And we'll wait for their response.
I remember the process. I guess my question is, when is that going to get resolved? I thought it would have been resolved by now, but not the case.
Yeah, following the last meeting, GGD did request a signature and some documents from the town, was requesting that, the permit, and then the documents were lost in transit, so they just received them. So now that I assume they have them.
I overnighted it on Friday. I used the address that was on the application for the civil engineer when they put down the wrong zip code. So the first package is MIA. Decided to send another package, and we discovered that it was the wrong zip code that I was using, but it was what was listed on their application, so. I did have them signed for delivery, so
Those things happen.
So they got it.
they should have it.
Okay. Have we resolved that? I guess this is more, well, Peter, you might want to chime in on this. Have we resolved the lighting issues?
Still working on that?
I can.
That's-
So I was trying.
Wherever, I'm sorry.
I've been working with a firm out of one of the southern states. They design the lightning protection systems, the R56, which the tower's going to be on. We filled out the application, showed everything, but one of the things we've been waiting on is a soil conductivity test, which you have to have a special meter. We attempted to rent the meter and have an electrician that we use perform it. They sent the meter not the meter that we requested, so we discovered that, so we sent that back, and unfortunately, we've had snowstorm after snowstorm. So the newest meter is supposed to be in hopefully by Friday, and if it won't snow for a couple days and the ground's not too wet, we can perform the conductivity testing. I literally spoke to the gentleman today, told him, explain what was going on, but it should only be a couple day turnaround, and then after we have the design, we can come up with a bid and put it out. So, but we are been actively trying to get that done, and if it stops snowing and we get the right equipment that
And
we
do
ordered.
you have any estimate on whether that's going to be within or without budget?
There's no budget for it.
Oh, that's sort of my point. Do you have any number what it is?
If I had to just take a shot in the dark, and it's not an educated shot in the dark, I'd say at least $50,000.
I'm just keeping a running total here because I like totals. Okay. Garage doors?
Mike's getting us that's the one.
That's that one over here that's.
Right, I know, but I mean, we're,
So that price there was to cut the existing doors that we already have down to
Right.
fit.
That's the maximum cost.
No,
No.
no,
No.
that's
That's what I understood.
That's the way I
no,
understood it.
it might be short money to put a brand new panel in without glass in there. We're waiting
No,
on,
this is a worst case
This
scenario.
is worst
We
case
might have a
scenario.
better solution, but it might
no,
cost
it might
more.
be yes, worst case solution, we use the existing doors, we cut
Right.
it, we black out the windows.
so this number is the worst-case solution.
Might be the most undesirable solution. We might have a little bit higher expense to put a brand new door in, but we have brand new hardware, we have brand new everything, we're not blocking out windows, it might be a little bit more money to put in a brand new door that's designed for that opening, that doesn't have to be,
This is.
finagled.
This is in the ballpark.
I would imagine, yes, so they're just putting up
Okay.
basic panels, that's what we're looking for a quote on. We don't own the installation, we just own the panels, so.
All right, well, I know where we are with the other question I had, so I'm good there. Just out of curiosity, are we keeping the doors white?
That was, yes, just a basic way, taking a credit from the painting, and
Okay.
either, again, reinstalling what we have and blacking out windows, or putting a new panel in, and if it's almost the same money, it'd be better to put a new panel in without, modifying. And
Right.
so as soon as we get that number, it'll be a no-brainer. If it's very short, it makes sense just to go new. If it's
Right.
a couple thousand, we'll just use what we have. It might,
There's no efficiency consideration between the two, right? It's
there's
just a matter-
supposedly, they had the door company come out, and they said that the efficiency of those doors would be equivalent to what today's doors would be. You can go with a more efficient door, but that's a fine standard energy rated door.
So then it should come down to whatever's the cheapest solution. Right?
Just take into account what's gonna take to black out the windows that are there.
Well,
But
whatever
so-
you have to do to make it,
So
way
yes,
it
if
needs
it's a
to
couple
be.
$100 for a brand new door,
Right.
and we're not doing anything, yes, it makes sense to go a brand new door. If it's a couple $1,000s to go a brand new door, it doesn't make sense, and we'll just use what we have.
we just said the same thing.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where are we on the fire station?
Our drawings are out to engineers, and we're ramping up our efforts with construction documents.
And I guess to the chief, how's the blasting?
Yeah, how's the blasting going, chief? It's a blast. It's a blast.
It's a blast?
We're we should hopefully be finished weather dependent, which I know the answer.
Are we close to done blasting?
We were gonna be done at the end of this week if the weather was good.
Is that a yes or a no? You did both. I don't know which it is.
Jack said, I swear to believe.
He was hoping to be done this week if the weather cooperated. Obviously, the weather's not going to cooperate tomorrow, so I suspect it'll be a couple days next week. I think it's gone
It's gone very
rather
well.
well, yeah.
With the cooperation
Matt's-
from the police and the fire. We've had minimal impact to anybody. It's been almost unnoticeable what we're doing.
Church is still there, so that's a good sign.
Runs around to all the
I keep
church
everybody
and everybody else
that's
to keep them in
concerned,
the form.
yeah, keep them all in the loop, let them know what's going to happen. We,
Oh, believe me, I know.
blasting
The church I
company,
go to.
blasting company's been excellent to work with. We've been providing the support for the MAT movement, and so next step, once he's done,
The mat movement?
mats, the blasting mats. Maybe walked on in, blown up.
Like that?
Little local humor.
Yeah.
The G Lopes has been notified that we're at the point where we're going to be ending what we're doing so they can come in. So I don't have a schedule on that yet, but when it happens, I'll let the chiefs know, and they're going to start hauling out that material.
So when will the designs be done?
In probably about 5 months.
5 months. Nothing more to talk about there, I guess, right now. Huh?
Well, if we're at August, and we could go out to bid, then we would get numbers back in September. And that's gonna almost align with transitioning the police department out and into a new facility and having a contractor then available to start at the fire station. So we are dovetailed, so if it would be an August, September bid period.
So,
You're talking 5 months for final design.
Yeah.
I think Jim's talking preliminary figures.
right. I want to know when you're going to get some cost estimates based on the
Oh,
design.
I thought we were, what's,
you.
how long is it gonna take to finish the design?
No,
We're going off the cost estimate that you have. I would think we could get a preliminary cost estimate at any period in that construction document phase. Probably want to get one about 50% complete for 50% construction document completion. So it would be around July.
Do you remember the number, the estimated construction costs in the first estimate?
Off the top of my head, no.
what was the question?
I was just wondering if you remember the number for the first design, the one that we did off the schematic C. We had an estimate.
I can assure you it's in this pile if you want me to go look for it.
I think it's, what's the,
What, do you know a date that would have been done, roughly?
I believe early summer, late spring, early summer, when we did that before on the schematic C. I believe.
Like May.
Well, it's higher than that.
Well, this is, believe it or not, in chronological order.
Yeah, that's the number.
That was a lot in October. Okay.
Number one.
That's the police.
That amount.
These are the right numbers. That's change order 6. The new is how much they
Oh,
invoice.
that reminds me of another.
Paul, do you remember the number?
That could be that.
No, I don't have that with me. I can get it to you.
I have it somewhere upstairs. I just,
Yeah, I have it.
Yeah,
yeah.
I guarantee it's in here. You just got to give me a minute.
Motion to table that.
The other issue is the fiber optics.
we haven't done anything with that.
Isn't that being done through MEX?
Fiber optics, we voted to approve a $68,000 change order to run fiber optics from the town center when they run it from the current police fire down to the new station. That was something independent. We were going to try to tag team off of the awarded contractor, but the problem is it's at a value we were going to go with the bid at, so we're going to see if we could do it as a change order to the MEX bid.
That doesn't make sense either.
So we don't have to do a whole bid process and everything, because the value,
Yeah, couldn't we do an intermunicipal agreement?
I believe so, and because the value was, they're already doing it, so that's why we're going to get a good price on
The
it.
original estimate?
Original estimate.
Yeah, but isn't that being paid for by
Project.
Guess
the rec,
Well, I got it for the
MEC,
project.
mech?
but we
Can I
pay
say
the
that?
MEC.
Project
We
was
were part of the
4.8.
MEC funding, so we're going to, looking to do an
that the numbers
intermunicipal
on the
agreement
That one's right.
and use that
Matt, were you
contract.
looking for the original number we had for the whole project for the fire department?
Construction cost.
They get,
Construction costs, 2.527.
that was the job estimate from,
Those were, you had, plus renovation, the whole project was 4.8.
no, I know that part, but he had an estimate off of Scheme C before.
Yeah.
He came in with he had an estimator review it and come up
You
with
say
a
that
number.
was in the summer. Oh, we're too far back now.
It was at the time you approved that scheme.
It's gotta be in here.
I think I made that motion.
Keep talking, I'll find it.
So the fiber optics for the MEC has started, right? For the whole multi-town project has
I'm
started?
not
or
sure
no?
where they're sitting at with that.
No, yeah.
Is Comtract doing it?
Contract was awarded last time I
I thought, yeah.
talked, was a few months ago about it, and he still hadn't had the contract finalized, and it was down to one item, but it was gonna be a go.
Haven't found it yet.
I don't think it was one of those, I think it was with one of the drawings, Jim, with the schematic, the layout.
This is good television right here.
Oh, it was along with one of the schematics?
Yes, sir, I believe so.
Oh, that would make it a little easier then, okay.
What's that? 817? 8817.
8817. Why do I save all this stuff?
Yeah, it would look like this format
Oh,
for,
I'm sorry, Jim, I thought it was with the schematic.
it's a cost estimate, it would be in this format.
it would be in that
Well,
format.
Coldest did the number, though.
Yep, Cole just said.
Oh, you got him, Cole?
5,384,748.
Say it again?
5,384,748.
All right, well, put this away.
All right, anything else we need to know, an update?
What I was gonna suggest is that we look into having the septic reviewed, because there's a $1.2 million number for site work on that site, and if we don't have to deal with the septic over there, that would be a large savings, which, because we have a $4.8 million budget over there, but 1.2 is dedicated to site work.
I thought we had that resolved, because that's a new septic system, isn't it, Bob?
We had talked to Wade about it, but he wasn't definitive because he wanted to have all the numbers, and we're like, well, you're cutting the staff in
There's going to be
half.
fewer people.
Yeah, but I think he was waiting for something from the engineers to say, this is what's going to happen, and we feel it meets the criteria.
So can we get the ball rolling on trying to figure out if that will work, and that will definitely affect the budget?
The 1.2 was, I think, to do all of the site work too, not just, and septic, but that was the concept, we were repaving a lot of the existing pavement that was there too. So you
We'll
can
probably
always
do
look
that
at,
anyway, so.
But I don't think that if, the blasting's gonna be a little over 100 all said and done,
Right.
and then the drain structure, but if we're gonna be doing site lighting, drainage, we don't, not dealing with septic, so asphalt, so I would think, if anything, that site would be less to less to do, so I think we should really look at seeing what that number might be, because that would definitely affect the building construction.
Agreed.
Anything else?
The drainage, when we redid the drainage up at the police station, on the new road the new driveway that's coming in, they had a swale along the high side of the roadway that came backwards to where the driveway goes up to the water tower with a 12-inch pipe going underneath. And then that ran along that driveway, the water tower driveway, down to Sharon's Ave, and just basically ran through Trap Rock and then just ended. We'd like to, we're within the 1% of, we're like 81% lot coverage on the, with the additional area. And we would like to just not put that pipe going across, have the swale on the high side and let the water just sit in there if there is any runoff. And I think that's gonna save us from having to run it down the side of that driveway, which is really going nowhere.
So is the Cliff Note version, the answer to that is we'd save money?
Yes.
Sounds like a great idea.
Sounds like a
then.
great idea.
If everybody's in favor of that, then that's kind of the way
I mean,
we...
there's no, we're not incurring any risk of any kind or, causing
Well,
problems.
the only risk would be if there was so much runoff that it went over the driveway and became an ice hazard. But, I mean, with all the snow and the water that's been going on, we haven't had any issues at all that I can see
Yeah, it's
on the site, so...
Is that retaining wall that's in the back of the building, did we put that up or was that the other guy behind us?
neighbor.
There's a guy...
The other guy behind us?
Bass Bridge, yeah.
That's sort of what I want to do for a retaining wall in that area. It's the
Same style?
Same style, same as right over here. So I have the,
At Walgreens.
right behind Walgreens, that,
Yep.
it's a more expensive material, but the labor on it's much less, and it's a engineered wall, so we have a stamp, so we know it's gonna be good, so just putting up blocks. So the planning board is gonna review it because they approved it's called a,
Design review.
yeah, their design review approved it, just like a regular CMU wall with a split face. This is a little bit different, so we have to get their blessing on it, but I've already have I have an engineer coming out to do a design on it, which is $1,500, and it looks like the materials are gonna end up being about, depending whether we do that which is the basic design or a fancier one, that's gonna be the next thing we do in the site work for the town. We're gonna do that, because right now, their footprint, we can't really get near the building, so we're trying to work our way in and stay away from the actual, so that hopefully we'll have that going within the next couple of weeks. They're meeting next Wednesday, and they'll give a blessing on it.
When are they gonna pour the concrete for the tower?
That's the Met contractor, and we're gonna probably, first they have to order the tower, and they haven't placed an order yet. So it's gonna take a while for the tower to get fabricated and delivered.
Well-
Go ahead.
They have the steel package coming in soon for the foundation. It has to be coordinated, which I told them has to be coordinated with the GC in the town, because that's going to take up a massive amount of area in front of that building. So we need to get the walls done, and they do want to do the foundation sooner than later, within the next few weeks, I imagine. But I don't know if we're going to be able to schedule that. Then the tower comes at a later date.
And we've resolved the size of the footprint? I know there was some discussion around that. That's resolved.
The final design came in, and it grew by a couple feet. Just our luck.
Of course.
Just happens. But based on the geotechnical information that they had, it did get larger. But I think to keep BC construction moving, they want to finish the wall panels on the front, they want to finish the front of the
That
building,
makes sense. Yep.
and then we can open up some space to dig a hole.
Okay. I think I'm running out of questions.
Did you think about, I don't know if you've had a chance to think about Matt's and the chief's concern that we want to twist the tower a little bit?
Yeah, I can give you another layout.
Okay. So these guys just wanted to, the tower is triangular, and they just want the flat edge parallel with the front of the building, so it doesn't look
So
cockeyed.
that's aesthetic, not functional?
Yeah.
It's just aesthetic.
Yeah.
We can be aesthetic with a tower, that's pretty good.
180 footer too.
Yeah.
It's gonna be up there.
Is there any other surprise that's hanging out there? Mike, I know you and I talked today, and thank you, by the way, for the first-hand tour guide there. Do you see any other, I mean, we know the issues that we've talked about. Do you see any other low-hanging fruit out there that becomes big-hanging fruit?
To be honest with you, I think Brian has hit most of those points. The only other issue that I probably would see, and I really don't believe it to be a cost issue, is moving up the sprinkler.
Moving up the what?
Moving up the sprinkler mains to a better location. Brian and I discussed it about a month ago, and I think we can resolve it relatively easily.
Okay. Anything else? Next meeting, when do we need to meet again?
Let's see.
When's the next storm? Monday,
April
isn't it?
17th.
Sunday is the last one.
Can you guarantee that?
April 17th. April 17th.
I will not be here.
Okay.
So there.
Then we would go to the 24th.
Yep.
Do we want to go that long?
We're meeting again on the 3rd, right, at the site?
Yes.
Should we meet on the 3rd?
So it would be the 3rd, the job meetings are the 3rd and the
You won't
17th.
be here.
I think,
Third
I won't
time?
be here on the 3rd, but we can,
I think we should meet on the 3rd.
Well, Brian will
We
be
got to
here.
stay,
Brian won't be here.
Brian won't be here.
How about April 10th?
April
The
10th is
10th
fine.
and
10th is fine.
10th?
10th?
Is that a,
Fine.
That's a Tuesday.
is it Tuesday?
Tuesday, yeah.
why don't we move the job meeting to the 10th? Then I'll be here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Job meeting.
Mike?
on the
April 10th?
Job meeting on the 10th, not the 3rd?
Is the architect going to be?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
When's this meeting then?
Can't tell you. We're gonna have a site meeting and a public safety building meeting on the 10th.
Gotcha. Thank
2 o'clock and then 4 o'clock.
you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
I didn't want to go, the 24th's too long.
That
There's
works.
too many open issues.
And we're back to the 2nd and 4th, like I asked at the trailer.
So I guess we're done. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
It's my birthday?
That's what it says, your birthday.
You second that?
Really?
Yes, I'm a second.
Okay, all
me a
those in
fire truck
favor?
pole?
Aye.
Opposed, okay, we are adjourned.